Okay, so in this video we're going to look at song, and I've discussed song in relation to solo training and form, and it is the releasing of tension or unwanted or unconscious tension in the body. Now for health and for solo training, this is really important because it allows us to mitigate accumulated tension from postural problems, or if we sit at a desk all day, it allows us to release that. Lots of positive aspects to song when it comes to health. But from a combative and fighting perspective, it is a very important point as well. It's something that differentiates Tai Chi slightly from other arts. Now, this is one of the aspects of Tai Chi that we often see mysticized, again, like so many. And my aim here is to try to explain it in a way that sort of demystifies it and takes away that sort of magical aspect to song. It is a very weird skill when we start to train it, and it produces interesting effects in our partners, but we have to remember that these effects are not magic. Yeah, they are very simple concepts, but they take a lot of training to be able to do. So the first thing we can say with song is that it allows us to not have points of tension in our body that accumulate a partner or opponent's force. And the way we get around that happening is through using our our intent. Okay, so what we need to try and do, and we'll look at a basic training method for this, is release tension throughout the body in association with an input force. So what we're going to do first, if I just grab Eli, if you can just put your hand here, and Eli's just going to push gently on my body, okay, not too hard, that's enough. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to feel what my body naturally wants to do. And naturally, almost always, I'll want to push back on him. That's sort of the natural reaction of almost everybody. And we can see this if you just stand straight for me. If I just touch Eli here, look, there's a tiny little response to push back against me. And this is true almost in everybody. But this is something that we aim to get around, and we use song to do it. So Eli's just pressing gently on my chest here, and what I want to do is feel where I'm bracing against the force. So am I bracing against it? What am I doing to try and stop this push? And what I then do is use my intent to find the whole line of tension and release it down into the earth, so that I'm no longer pressing against Eli. So if he removes his hand quickly, yeah, I don't go anywhere. There's no pressure against him. If I'm pushing and he really moves his hand, then this happens, okay? So this is a basic exercise for training this. I just sink and release, and he removes his hand, and nothing happens. Or I press against him, he removes his hand, and it makes me fall forward. All right, so I'm using my intent, leading through my body to release the lines that I feel created from the push. This is a very simple and basic song training method in association with a partner. Now, when we're looking at song in combative application, what we're looking at is removing this build-up of points of tension in our body or density. And this is what I call relative density, okay? And we'll see how that balances out in a second. But if Eli's pushing on me, and I tense against his force, what happens is he can really feel my structure very easily. And if he pushes a little harder, he can take me straight away. He can move my body straight away. And that's true no matter where he's touching. If I'm tensing my shoulder, look, it's very easy for him to find a point of tension. His force will accumulate into that point of tension, and then I'm subject to whatever he wants to do with that tension in my body. If, however, when he pushes on me, there are no points of tension, he just hits the floor, okay? There's no point of tension here. If he removes his hand quickly, I'm not actually pressing on him, I'm just released. What happens is he has to use much more effort to try to enforce his will on me. And what happens there is that my lack of tension, my lack of density around my body is reflected into density in his body as he increases his force. So if he's pushing on me again, now as he starts to push on me and I sink and I release, what happens is his body starts to tense more and more because he's trying his hardest to try and push on me. So push, and as that happens, it gives me very easy access to his body because he's starting to tense more and more, okay? If I push against him, now the winner is the one with better tension, all right? That's why strength on strength will win. If he has better tension in his muscle than I have, he wins, yeah? If, however, I don't have any tension and I song, now it's very easy for me to control because of the point of tension that's accumulating back in him from my structure. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. This is what I call relative density. This is the accumulation of force in joints, in posture, in position, when reflected off song, or a song structure with no density. All right, so this can then be used whenever I have a better level of song. They will feel like they're more tense, okay? And I'll be able to grab that tension and use it to move them.